Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment with TheCaliEffect. Today, we're going to be going over how not to get scammed on online trading. That's right. I've been trading for about around a good 6 years online. I've been scammed probably twice and a half. The reason why I say twice and a half is because the third time, the person actually um, sent back what he took from me, and then gave me compensation. So I'm like maybe twice and a half, and this has not this has happened maybe in my first 2 3 years of trading. So it hasn't really happened in a very long time. If you guys follow these steps, hopefully that you'll have the same trading experience as I have, which is a really good trading experience that has gotten me a lot of great stuff. First, I want to talk about is established sites and how they work online. The biggest thing you want to remember when trading online is that little thing right there. It's typically going to be an iTrader or some type of ref system that is online. When you go to established sites such as Pojo, Dueling network forums, TCG player, and sites like that. Depending on how high your trader count is, depends on who sends first to you. Like, for example, since I have 106 on my iTrader, anybody lower than 106 would have to send to me first, and anybody over 106 I would have to send to. If we get the exact same amount of refs on Pojo, then we would have to send at the same time. Typically, when you have so many refs, like as such as 100, there's not the chances of you being scammed or ripped, or however you guys want to call it, are pretty low. The scammer range, from what I've noticed, tends to be like around in the 40 or 50ish range. That's really like the last types of scammers. But don't get me wrong, there are people that still do it. There was someone on Pojo, I think he had close to 1,000 refs. I know he had a considerable amount of refs, and he was close to scamming me as well. But I followed the steps, and he never got through. He had close to 1,000 refs, and he got a lot of people for a lot of cards and money. It's very sad to see stuff like that, but that's just how it happens. The difference between a good iTrader and a bad iTrader is not only the numbers, but this percentage right here. As you can see, I've never had a negative reference. I have a lot of positives, and I think I've gotten a couple of neutrals over time, but no negatives. The biggest reason is you want to send as fast as possible. You want to send in the conditions specified, and you also you want to make sure that there's communication between you and the person that you're trading with. The lack of communication really seems kind of sketchy, especially if you should be excited to receive, or the other person to receive your cards. Another thing I want to talk about is that in typical established sites, which I believe everybody should start trading at, is there's a rippers list. These are the lists of all the addresses of people that have ever ripped on Pojo. So, I mean, if you see he's from Anaheim, California, 92801, just go ahead and check up with a moderator or whoever is doing this list that's not a ripper. I mean, that's just common sense. A lot of people don't do it, and they tend out missing out on a lot of things. Even if the person is sending first to you, you also have to remember that this person doesn't send first to everyone. So it's not wrong, it's not bad to just check up with a moderator to make sure that he is not a past ripper that has made a different account and came back. I actually want to see if Nevada is on here. North Carolina, from what I know, a lot of North Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey, well, of course, New York. It's just a huge player base right there. They do a lot of scamming, but no, there's no Nevada, New Jersey. Oh, that's interesting. There's no Nevada. That might have to change. No, I'm just playing. The next thing that you really want to be aware of. I wish that I had something in my private messages. I think I still have them. Is sketchy people. Blah blah blah. No. Because there was this guy that was trying to rip me not too long ago, and he had higher refs than me. And he was just a really easy trader to identify as a ripper, and it was just extremely easy. But I'm pretty sure I don't have him in my list anymore. Really don't even remember his name. I just remember the name of the message. But he was pretty sketchy. You really have to watch what they say and how they say it. Sometimes it's the typing. Sometimes they just really, really want you to send first, and they keep bugging you to send first. Even if you would have higher tradings, you really have to pay attention to that, because if you don't, it's more than likely a ripper. A lot of people will be like, no, well, I have regionals this weekend and I really need the card. Don't fall for it. Stick to the rules, guys. Another big thing is that the really good deals. If it is an extremely good deal, it's probably too good to be true. There hasn't been a single time that I have been offered a really good deal who they didn't turn out to be a scammer or ripper, like I said, whatever you want to call it. There's not a single time. Why? Because we're on the internet. It's one click away from going to TCG Player, from going to eBay, from going to any of these established sites to find the genuine value on your card. While you may be able to, once in a blue moon, find somebody that doesn't value his cards at these prices, it's very rare. So it's better safe than sorry. If the deal is really, really good, you might want to request something called a mod trade, where two people send to one trusted person. These moderators are typically, like I just shown you, Parallel Fates. Really good moderator. He has, that's actually a banned user from trading, with a bad eye trader, but we'll get to that later. Well, I guess I can't get the Parallel Fates. He really good trader though. A lot of refs, very trusted. We would both send to him. He will require some type of fee, more than likely, to send back, to handle this, because he has to get the packaging, he has to make sure everything's okay, and then he would send back to us the deal. Those are probably typically the safest ways to trade online on established sites, period. These moderators do not want to lose the type of clout that they have, the type of power. They typically have a lot of eye traders, and they're just very trusted members of the community. You also have to remember, why would they rip from you? And also, because they're getting something from you, they're going to be losing out on all the other stuff they could be getting from people in the future. So it's not really smart for them. It's extremely smart for you, and it's just one of those things that you should just do, because if, like I said, if it's a bad trade, that's pretty much going to solve it all. The next thing I wanted to talk about is Facebook. There has been a lot of trading that I've been noticing on Facebook, and this is actually what prompted me to make this video, is because almost every week I see, oh, I got scammed by such and such and so and so, or it's typically the same scammer making a different Facebook account and then just trading and scamming from there. It's pretty irritating to see this, especially when I know how to spot one, just typically by talking to them. On most Facebook sites, there isn't any established refs. That's going to be one of the biggest problems. So with that being said, I don't want to say never send first. Find the trusted users. Don't trade with random person number A that you've never heard of. If they have a YouTube or a Facebook or anything like that, find out from them. Find out whatever you have to. Actually, let me show you my Facebook. That actually might help. If you were to see a Facebook like this, not as sexy as this though, but if you were to see a Facebook like this, just a regular Yu-Gi-Oh picture, something, dorky in the background, I don't know, not a lot of posts for themselves, not a lot of friends, probably a scammer. They probably just made that account. You want to watch out for that. You want to watch out for the new accounts, especially if they don't have photos of themselves. It's just a lot of sketchy things that you need to realize with Facebook. It is not built for a trading site. Another thing is that some of these groups on Facebook do have a REST system and do have trusted traders and all this other stuff, go ahead and research that. It takes 10 minutes of your time. When somebody asks if they're trusted on the group and a list of people say, yeah, he's trusted, don't be afraid to talk to those people about their experience with this trusted trader, quote unquote. You can learn a lot just by that. It's typically going to be something good, or it's something that's going to give you a hint that, hey, you probably shouldn't be trading with that person. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how to get your mail back. If you guys just so happen to go to the post office and send with tracking, there you could probably go back to the post office and have that mail intercepted. That's something that a lot of people don't know. So if you find out that it's a scammer and it hasn't gotten to the person's address yet, you can more than likely go to the post office and have that mail intercepted. Now, it's going to cost you some time to go down to the post office, talk to the person. You have to hope that the mail hasn't reached to them yet, because once it touches their hands, I mean, it is addressed to them. It's not like they're going to knock on the door and be like, hey, we need that mail back for you. Not going to happen. A lot of people just don't know that. So that's just another thing. One more thing I wanted to talk about actually is back to the refs. Ref scamming. A lot of people, what they'll do in ref scamming is that either they'll make a whole bunch of accounts. Typically this happens on Pojo. They'll make a lot of accounts, a lot of different accounts, and then they'll ref each other. With that being said, that makes the person's iTrader goes up tremendously. They can have 40 or 50 refs within a week, which we both know is kind of impossible. It's very unlikely that somebody would go up 40, 50 trades in 1 week. Sometimes that happens. And when it does happen, you just genuinely have to go through their iTrader and see, is this person legitimate? Is this person, how long has this person been on Pojo? How long have all of these people been on Pojo? You gotta have to connect the dots. It's gonna take a lot of detective work, but it's really worth it. The biggest thing I want to talk to you guys about is that since you're trading online, don't send stuff that you're not afraid to lose. I mean, that's something that my father have always told me. Don't loan something to somebody that you're not willing to lose, because when you do lose it, it's gone. It's more than likely, you can try your best, but it's gone. Not a lot to do after that. Another thing, I think the last thing that I really wanted to talk about, or the last two things, is send with tracking on big end stuff. Send with tracking on big end stuff. I'm gonna say this one more time so you guys can get it. Send with tracking on high end stuff. Why? Because if you send in a normal envelope and somehow some mysterious power in the world decides to make that envelope disappear, you are responsible for the trade, because you did not make sure that the package got to the person. So that is your fault right there. I apologize. Should never be your fault, especially if somebody receives it in the mail, because the post office and the United States postal system may not be the best system, but it's pretty efficient at getting mail from one destination to another. But in this rare occurrence that a quote-unquote does not happen, you are responsible, and there's nothing you can do. When you send with tracking, there is no way, shape, or form that package won't reach its destination. Period. There's no way, shape, or form that package will not reach its destination unless, I guess, Hurricane TheCaliEffect came around and destroyed all of the mail inside of that package. So other than that, there's no way, shape, or form that package is not going to reach its destination. You will know exactly when the person will receive the mail. You'll know what they get with the mail, and that's why you should always send with tracking on bigger items. So because there's a lot of scammers that go around saying, oh, I never got from you, I never received from you, and there's nothing you can do if you don't have tracking. That's basic. Oh, almost forgot. File mail fraud. At the times you do get ripped, file mail fraud. It's by itself, I've never filed, well, I've only filed 3. So I haven't had much success with mail fraud itself, but For a couple of cases, very rare instances, it works. So go ahead, if you guys have been ripped or scammed or whatever you want to call it, file mail fraud. If people tend, or if mail fraud is filed for one person numerous amount of times, I can only assume that people would be looking at that person different and the United States Post Office. It is a very serious offense if you are charged with mail fraud. I'm not sure exactly the penalty, but I'm pretty sure it involves jail time. If it's over a certain amount of time or whatever, it's a very serious offense. You might be able to get your stuff back, or you just might be able to get justice for the person. Like I said, I haven't filed mail fraud too many times. I've seen a lot of mail fraud complaints being filed. I'm not 100% sure what happened, but it never hurts to file mail fraud, especially if it's very truthful. Thank you guys for watching into the segment of The Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.